This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so today is Thursday, April 25th, and as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. All right, so Facebook, we can see, went on an absolute tear yesterday. We saw that beautiful buying that we had around that 185 level, and then 188 earlier yesterday morning. And it would just, once earnings came back out, and for some reason it's not letting me zoom out the way I want to. There we go. But for some reason, whatever reason after the earnings reason, we just kind of took off. So one thing that we do got to look at is that coming up to this 200 level, we did get some nice buying that was in there. I was looking at the prints before. I couldn't go all the way back, but we could see based off of this, we know that we had some nice buying that was coming in to break us over that 200 level. Now, with this much buying, I would not be shocked to see a pretty substantial pullback, and some really heavy profit taking. I know this morning we had some beautiful prints that came in at that 199 level, which I will go back to. Right here, we can see there's a beautiful burst, especially with pre-market. You can see the orders out there are extremely thin. So $22 move with that much buying. Like I said, I'm going to be looking for some heavy profit taking, especially with the amount of pullbacks that we need from the amount of buying that we had. So keep them, 199 for, the prints that we have at 199, pulling back to 198 is not really going to be enough at all. And then obviously all the other buying. We're still sitting in kind of a consolidation, so we haven't really seen a ton of profit taking coming in, which is a little bit shocking so far. Really just that new buying. So it certainly shows us that we were going to be wanting to go higher. It's just going to be a matter of our pullback that we're going to get from there. Now, keep in mind, guys, is a $22 move an exception? Just be careful of the retail push. Well, there's no question about that, but $22 move, yes, 1,000,000%, it is an exception. All right, so just make sure that you continue to follow the rules. Do not get caught up in movement, because getting caught up in movement in Facebook ends up with especially today, will end up in a loss that you're probably not going to be able to control. So definitely want to be thinking about that. Now let's talk about Microsoft. So Microsoft made another beautiful push, 125 to 132, $7. That's a very, very big move for Microsoft, especially for the fact that it trades about $1.60 every single day. So coming into this morning, you can see nice little position here at 131.50. Nothing crazy, but I did like the amount that we saw coming in there. Now, there definitely has been a lot of selling, and we really haven't got as much new buying as I really would like to see. Now, I'm going to be looking right over here. Once again, at 8 o'clock, we get those Laker colors that we look for the bottom part, where we're going to be bearish below it, and then we look for the top print, where we're going to be bullish above it. So right now, we're looking at 131.14. 131, we had one print, but I'm going to start with, I'm going to keep the 131.14 as that low. And then the high 131.30. So, we kind of doesn't really give us much of a range like we typically would see in that area. And I'm not as big a fan with the show of hand here as I am in Facebook. Both stocks, name brand stocks, going to have the best traders in the world out there trading them. So if there's something else out there, guess what? I'm going to look for it. Now, am I going to trade Facebook? Yeah, because the range is going to be, it should be substantially higher than it usually is, but it's just remember your level of trading. If you're not there yet, don't try to force trading such a stock like this that today is going to 99.9% be an exception. All right, let's take a look at ARCI. So ARCI just on an absolute tear this morning. Coming up to that 7 level, I was already complaining because we didn't really get any type of controlling prints. But then right after it, you could see 720, 730, new buying coming in. And then right here, 754, even more new buying. So I'm going to be looking for it to pull underneath our 750 and then a trigger back or towards that upside. Look at the orders, though. This thing is going to be a very big mover. So when it does, give a pullback, it's probably going to happen swiftly and quickly. And what that means is that if you're holding and you're, kind of waiting, and trying to, like in this case, for instance, at 750, based off all these prints at 754, we should see a pretty substantial pullback that comes back into there. So just be careful when you're looking at something with this big of a range, especially already in the pre-market. We're talking about almost $2.80. So looking good, especially with this position right here at 754. I definitely would like to see a pullback from there first before I would even be looking for it to really make that move. And it's, it's trading like a regular stock during the pre-market, so it's looking pretty damn good. How much should we start for? With this, I mean, it's just based off the range that we're seeing like that, right now, at least 50 cents. I mean, that has to be a starting point. It's too much of a range to only start at 25 cents, and a 25-cent move down is just not going to be enough, because what happens is if it only moves 25 cents on this much buying, and then it looks like it's going to pull back up, it's a perfect time to really shake you out for shares and then drop the hammer on you, and you don't want to be part of that. So start with 50 cents there. All right, let's take a look at the scanners. We had a few other things going on out there that it's okay. Oh, we'll talk about Tesla too. So Tesla, apparently things did not go, it didn't go as bad as what it looked like it was going to go. So it's just a very consolidated, but something that I just didn't see before is that 255. We did have some decent prints in a stock like Tesla. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for a burst of 3 to 4 prints that come back in. This isn't the best print. It's not a great show of hand for this expensive a stock. I'm going to want to see something better, but we definitely have that selling at 255, which it's pulling back up from right now, and then I would be expecting it, which will move back down towards this double bottom right here, about 251. All right, then next, moving on to our scanners. Let's see if anything new has came out. Lists are definitely small because obviously most of the volume is being followed by earnings. So RWLK, 145,000 shares. I didn't mind it before. It's just, once again, I'm not a big fan of the amount of buying that came back in. You can see the prints, not as many bigger prints as you would have expected. We do have a decent burst that came in at 4, but based off what we have out there, RWLK is going to go on our side list. Okay, rather than a regular list, and especially too, just because it's starting to trade very consolidated and very quanty. So it definitely has the variable of not really being able to move too much once the market opens. Now, NBEV is very, very, very similar to that, coming up towards that 6 level. Didn't really get as much as I would have liked to see. I mean, these cheaper stocks, I want to see a big burst that comes back out. Now, we did get, a decent, a little bit. I mean, a decent amount, but nothing really crazy at that 6 level. Now, we are pulling back from it, and if we come back up towards that top, we do have some decent prints up above at 620, but not really as, like I said, just for it's such a cheap stock, not as much. So this one's going to go on our side list as well, NBEV. All right, moving along, we have GNC, 229,000 shares. It already has the buying at 6 from before. Okay, oh, absolutely. That's right. So we do have the buying that comes back in there. So that will move from our regular list over to our side list over to our regular list. I completely forgot. That's from back here. If we go over to the daily chart, from pushing up back right in the beginning of April 8th, as we can see. So absolutely right. Thank you for that, Nitesh. Moving along, that is pretty much it. CLF, it's almost never anything there that we can really trades itself. It moves 41 cents on average. Its volume isn't really that great for such a cheap stock, so I'm going to be skipping over that one from this morning. Moving over to the loser side, have a very short list as well, but we definitely have a little bit more. CNSL making a little bit of a move, but there's just nothing really there. It's been mostly selling, just very quanty, very consolidated, not much there for us. HMI, 360,000 shares, no real trading going on. MBRX, absolutely not. Complete quant trade this morning. We have GRTS. We're starting to get a little bit of a move down, but it's another one, it's just not. There's going to be better things out there for us to be focusing on. And okay, it's just almost never, ever a day trade, so nothing we're going to do there. We have MO, not much going on. And then ING, absolutely nothing. So a few good things going on out there. Obviously, Facebook and Microsoft, we're going to be expecting to see some bigger than usual ranges going on. And then our cheaper stocks, we're really just going to need that new buying to continue to come in for us to be able to make those moves towards that upside. Other than that, guys, we definitely, it's just like any other morning. I know it's earnings morning, and we definitely will see a whole bunch of stuff going on out there, but it's still, just have patience. Okay, no reason to force a trade on movement, and on when it comes to earnings and stocks starting to pop up during the open, it's very easy to get caught into that, and just make sure that you do not. All right, other than that, like I said, I will be putting the hotel information into the link, the on-site link this morning. Oh, well, probably this afternoon. And remember, there are limited spots. We can only fit so many people in the auditorium, so definitely get your spot reserved. All right, guys, so I will talk to everyone in the chat, and happy trading.